All right, there we are. Just making sure it was live and it was going. Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys are having a good day. And it is now the weekend officially. Very strange. I don't know. I've been in a weird place. I don't even know how to begin to explain it. I've just been in a really weird place lately. So I will have to apologize to you guys for that because I'm not on my game. I am absolutely not on my game. So that's kind of how it goes. But I hope everybody said. I hope you guys are all doing well. Before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. And I hope everybody, can do that. If they can't, then those awesome people lit up in blue will boot you out of here because we're not going to have it. It's too hot. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about heat and the attitudes of people with the heat and blackout possibilities. They're two-thirds of the country are dealing with a possibility of blackouts. Extreme heat happening in certain parts of the country as well. And it's not a fun time overall. Not a fun time overall. But no, I'm not congested at all. No, I don't feel sick. Um, I don't feel sick at all. I actually feel fine physically. It's just here I'm not on my game. So I just I got to be honest with you, tell you the truth, because that's what I do. I'm not going to BS you guys, but uh, try driving around in your car with no air conditioning. It's 105 degrees in the Texas heat. Wow. Yeah, that's got to be a lot of fun. Yeah, out of sorts. Fortune cookie. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's just it's been weird. Like I said, I don't even know how to explain it. Um, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but we'll get through it. We'll be fine. Uh, we call it the Blaz. Yeah, it would definitely. And this poor dog, she is like so awesome. And a lot of times that's why you see her like going nuts when we go outside and I'm doing a video because we've been cooped up and it's not. I'm like, I fell asleep again. Yeah, right. I just not been, like I said, it's so I've been inside a lot and just kind of doing my, not really doing much anything to be honest with you. I don't even know how to, like I said, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it is what it is. But I want to talk about something. Well, we'll get it. I may save that for a little bit later in the stream. But we're gonna be talking about an interesting statistic with to do with the medical field, which I think some of you will find quite interesting when you compare numbers. Comparing, well, we're going to go ahead and talk about this now. So, gun-related violence in a year, about 48,000 people are killed when gun-related violence. Right, more than half of those, more than half, are suicides. So it's somebody that has decided to take themselves out. So you're basically in a given year, you're looking at maybe 24,000 people dying of real gun violence. Killing yourself, I don't consider that gun violence. A gun was used, but it's a decision that that person has made, right? How many deaths do you think? And I have the numbers, so we're gonna share some truth here in a minute. How many deaths a year do you think caused by medical, I don't want to say malpractice, but medical mistakes? Let's call it medical mistakes. Wrong medication, whatever the case may be, doctor error, whatever the case may be. How many deaths a year do you think are attributed to medical errors? Now, I'm going to tell you what. If you go on the 10 top causes of death in the country, right? Heart disease is number one, right? And you'll look at the different numbers. What you don't see on there, Billy the Kid is actually the closest. 371,000 deaths per year is the average of the number of people that are killed by mistakes made by doctors, nurses, whatever the case may be. And that doesn't count the injured, because if you count the injured in there as well, now you're looking at a number called 800,000 people per year. Per year. And so the injured people are, paralyzed, incapacitated, all that, all that type of thing where they're messed up forever. Okay. 371,000 people a year are killed by doctors. I want you to think about that. So my question would be, you technically, even if you want to count all the suicides, 48,000 per year by gun violence, 371,000 a year by doctors' errors, doctors' mistakes, negligence, whatever the case may be. That's a pretty big number. Why are we not doing something about that? Why are we not doing something about that? That's a question that I would have. Why the big rah 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 about guns when you have something that's killing a lot more people every single year, right? Think about that. And then the injuring the other, what, over 400,000 people a year, 29,000 people a year are hurt that way. I'm gonna tell you a story, guys. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna tell you a story. True story. True story. I took care of a gentleman for 17 years doing home care. Okay. The father had gone into the hospital to have a temporary colostomy done. Right. He had some necrotic tissue, which is dead tissue in his intestines. So they were going to put in a colostomy, which is where they take part of the intestines and they put it out of your stomach or out of your side body. Okay, so that in that way they let that heal up, and then they'll go back in and then they reattach everything after everything is healed up. So he went in to have this surgery, and the surgery was successful. They bring him into, like once you come out of surgery, they put you in a room and you're monitored and stuff like that. Well, it just happened to be the change of shift. Okay, happened to be the change of shift, and there was a person that worked there that shared this information with this family afterwards. Nobody was paying attention, and he went blue. By the time they realized something was wrong, they did bring him back, but irreversible brain damage, where literally he was a vegetable after that. Okay, so I want you to imagine you go into the hospital. It's not a really super complicated surgery, realistically. You have this surgery, and this is what happens, right? This is what happens. Well, what ended up happening was they sued the hospital. In the hospital, now you don't even have to be in the medical field to realize malfeasance was done here. You really don't have to, okay? They said that because he was overweight, that he had had a heart attack, which was actually proven that he didn't have a heart attack, and that's what caused the problem, and that's why it was. So it's not the hospital's fault. They lost their lawsuit. They lost their lawsuit. Um, this gentleman, like I said, I was with him for 17 years. I didn't come in right after that happened. I came in; it was a few years later, but he lived like another 19 or 20 years after that happened, and it happens all the time, guys. You don't hear about it. It's not going to be in the news. I'm going to tell you right now, when I had my cancer surgery, my biggest concern to me was waking up from the anesthesia. That was my biggest concern. I was like, wasn't the cancer so much? It was, man, I hope they don't kill me. Because I'm not stupid. I know what goes on. I know mistakes happen. And everything is rush, rush, rush. I mean, we had, they had 3 surgery rooms, and we were lined up like, cordwood. This one's going, that one's going. My scheduled surgery was initially scheduled for 4 o'clock, and I wasn't able to even get into the surgery until like 6. And I'll never forget. So they got me laying there, and they come over, and well, there was two things. So well, the just and the anesthesiologist comes over, and she's looking at my paperwork, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're an A1A," and I go, "A1A?" I go, she goes, "I've never had an A1A before." I go, "What's an A1A?" She goes, "You have like no complications. You're not on any medicine. You got no problems. You got no health issues." She goes, I don't normally see this." And I said, "Well, okay, that's cool." But I remember laying there, and I remember thinking, and of course, then she hit me up with something. And by the time I remember being rolled into the ER, I remember them transferring me over onto the surgery table, and that's all I remember. But what ended up happening was I remember laying there, and it was like 2 hours. I was supposed to have surgery at 4, and now it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm thinking, man, I hope I don't have to go to the bathroom before they roll me in here. Because I mean, could you imagine? It's like, excuse me a second, I have to go to the toilet. But I just saw. I had a friend died after having a colostomy. Yeah, I mean, mistakes happen. That's reality. That's life, unfortunately. But so why is there not more? And look at the numbers. Why is there not more of an uproar from society? Right? We need to regulate this. We need to have better safety precautions. We need to make sure. I know this is going to be a scary one for some people. We need to make sure our physicians, right, our residents. You know what a resident is? It's the guy that's gone to law school and he has to go work in the hospital for a certain amount of time before he can actually become a doctor. He has to go through a period. Well, they're working those guys like 15, 16 hours a day. Okay. They're overtired constantly. They're not getting enough rest. And this is a common practice that goes on, and it happens all the time. But nothing is going to change about that. You know, I know with nurses, I mean, there is apps. The average career of a nurse, I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? The average career of a nurse is about 5 years. You have obviously, you probably know people that have been nurses for a long time. I've been a nurse for a long time. You get burnt out. You get burnt out when you're working buku hours all the time. It wears on you. It absolutely wears on you. So Billy the Kid said they should only be allowed to work 8 hours. Well, like I said, Billy, like with everything else, they're short staffed all the time. They don't have enough. They don't have enough people. You know, the angiogram was horrible. I was given what they call twilight meds and was awake during the entire procedure. Had to lay perfectly still for 45 minutes. Wow, yeah, that would suck. That would suck. Yeah, not a good time. Yes, especially ER staff, Larry. But anyway, when I had my surgery, I had 3 rooms, and they were behind like 2 hours trying to get everybody, the surgeries done. And yes, Peter, at the end of the day, it's all about the cash. It's all about the money. So, but yeah, JJ is Tuesday, guys. So we'll be seeing JJ on Sunday, obviously, for the next live stream. And hopefully we'll see him on Wednesday after he has his surgery. That would be good. So, but anyway, why is there not more of an uproar for that? They want to take all your guns away, right? They want, because they're so dangerous and it's terrible and all this stuff. What about a lot of doctors that are doing, right? What about that? So something to think, a little joy in your life, especially JJ, since you're sitting in a hospital waiting to undergo the knife once again. Pleasant thoughts, right? But it happens, and people need to realize that it does happen. So you know, um, it's just, again, like when I had my surgery, my biggest concern was waking up. I said, as long as I get through the surgery, I wake up and they haven't killed me, then I can take care of my family. Because I remember I got like a hair. Hell is shedding like mad. I showed you that pile of hair outside. I should have brushed her today. I didn't brush her today, but I should have brushed her today again. Um, but yeah, guys, the burnout rate is very, very high in nursing. You're overworked, underappreciated. You know, management, again, and I've said it a million times, I'll say it a million more. Management could give a crap less. They don't. And now there. So let me just rephrase that when I say that. I am sure there are exceptions to the rule. I am sure that there are. But I will say this truthfully, in my experience in 30 years plus of nursing, I never saw it in all that time. And I worked all over the place. I did a lot of agency work and that type of stuff. So I never saw that. I saw the management that didn't give a crap. As long as they got a warm body in there, they don't care how tired you are. They don't care how many, if you're a CNA, they don't care how many 16s in a row you've worked, and you're burnt and you're tired. They don't care. They don't care. So good times, good times. And certain companies with what they consider staffing minimums is insane. It is insane. Until they have to do it themselves, nothing is ever going to change. Because I'd like to see some of them do it. That would be an eye opener. That would I'd love to see that. I'd love to see management come in and work as a CNA for a couple days. I think they'd change the staffing minimums if they had to do that. I really do. So, but anyway, I know actually I was talking to a buddy of mine. We're talking about went and had a colonoscopy done recently, and he's like, yeah, they say, and he's 62, and he's like, yeah, they said, you haven't had a colonoscopy yet, you need to have one. He goes, I finally got one. I can tell you, and I'm a nurse, guys, so should I know better? Yeah, okay, I should. I've never had one. I'm 58. They say you should have it at 50. I've never had one, so I think a lot of the. Nah, I'm not gonna say that. It's just everybody has to do what they need to do. Everybody needs to do what they feel is right. I'll just put it like that. That's all I'm gonna. I was gonna say something else, but I'm like, yeah, no. So, but anyway, so let's get back into. I wanted to share that information with you because I thought it was important. What do we had? 286 in the chat. Um, 99 thumbs up so far. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, which 2/3 of you have not, if you would do so to show support for the channel, I would really appreciate that. And thank you very much ahead of time. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms. And I appreciate that as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. All right. So, temperatures rise, and it's every year it happens, guys. Okay, temperatures it gets hotter, especially in the cities, because everything is condensed and everything's holding the heat. It can be miserable. Yeah, Wolfang, hot, 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 exactly. um, you know it can get really, really rough, and then when you are having blackouts because of not enough power, what happens then? It just makes a bad situation worse. And you're seeing temperatures rise. You're seeing tempers rise. Hold on a second, guys. I forgot to kill the volume on this. All right. People got a lot shorter fuse. I think that a lot of people now, their fuse is shorter anyway, because of the stress that people are going through. Uh, you know, Mother does what she wants. Bottom line, absolutely, Wolfang, absolutely. I'm seeing this push. I'm seeing this push more and more and more of, oh, it's because of what we're doing to the planet. I'm going to tell you what, guys. At one point in time, and I've talked about this. Well, let's talk about Greenland. Greenland, when it was found originally, Greenland was green. It was very hospitable, and they were growing and doing all that type of stuff, right? Is it like that now? No, right? So, the planet changes. Areas of the planet are going to change. You look at the river patterns; you can see it in Africa. You know, you can see it in Africa that there used to be the river was here. Like even the excuse me, even the Nile. The Nile changes course. You know, there was one place that they had found, and at one time the Nile flew right, went right past that, and now it doesn't. Abandoned city from way back when. Um, do not put it off and get your colonoscopy. It's not going to happen anytime soon, Billy the Kid. I'll tell you that right now. I, you know, now it's, but, but anyway. So let me ask you this. I mean, let's be realistic. I did not want to either, but I did. Well, I'll tell you right now. I'll be honest with you. I don't have insurance, so I ain't getting squat done. I ain't going to the hospital, not getting squat done. So that's how that goes. So yeah, they're in the way that they do things. I'm a friend of mine, part of one of the members of the group, and I won't say which one, but they went to the doctors, really not feeling well, and they said. You have two choices. You give us $50. Now this is a wellness visit. This is one of those walk-in clinics, guys. You can give us $50 now, and we'll bill you for the balance, which will be $550. That's for walking through the door, by the way, right? Or we can, for the balance, or you can pay. I think they had to pay like 160, and then it would be all one payment only, and they're done. Well, obviously, which one did they go with? You know what I mean? But it's just like it's not about the care, which it should be about the care. It's about the money. It's always about the money. So, but significant family history of cancer. I don't have a choice. I am a cancer survivor, so I guess it was just my turn. Oh, Brick, yeah, it happens, man. It happens. So, but anyway, let's get. I didn't pop this open yet. Look at that. People are on edge, and the higher temperatures do not help. Okay, it does not help, and that's a problem. And so you have people that are highly stressed to begin with, short fuses. Uh, Anything can set them off. You have a lot of very unstable people mentally out there. We've talked about that they open the doors and let all the lunatics out basically and put them back out into society. I'll tell you what, I drive around, and when I go into more populated areas, I'll just put it like that. Um, and you see, that part of that, and there is homelessness, and people doing what they're doing, and how people ignore them like they don't exist. It's actually sad. It's actually sad, that we're not watching out for each other as human beings. So, but it is a process that's been going on for a long time. It's not going to change. Throwing money at it doesn't make it change. It's I, there's a lot of people that need help, and part of that help is mental help that they need, and and the answer is not always just giving them a pill and sending them on their way. That's not the answer. They need to get through and process and figure out what is causing them to make the choices that they're making. Because at the end of the day, and I get so sick and tired when people say, "Oh, well, alcoholism is a disease and drug addiction is a disease." No, they're not. They're not a disease. They're a choice. You've made a choice. This is what you do, and the only way that you stop that, all right, they could send somebody to rehab 100 times, and until that person decides that they don't want to do it anymore. Now, maybe they need to get help to get them to stop, but it has to be their choice. They have to want to stop. And if they don't stop, you know, they're not gonna. No matter what you tell them, no matter how you try to punish them, any of that type of stuff. A drug addict is a drug addict. They're going to lie, deceive, cheat, steal, do whatever they have to do to get whatever they need to get. And it's sad, to be honest with you. It's sad. I had 2 days sober. Now I'm on my first beer. Oh my God. I don't know. Like I said, and the reason that I say, here's a problem that I have. But doctors treat the symptoms now, not the disease, thanks to big pharma. Well, and the problem with that is, Prep Rebel, there is more money in the treatment than the cure for anything, for whatever that may be. So if I can get you on Suboxone for the rest of your life, well, now I have a lifelong customer, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I tell people this. And like I said, I did drugs back in the day. I did 10 years of heavy drinking, from 12 to 22. I was a heavy drinker. If I was in my car, back in the day, I had a cooler in the back seat, and if you got in my car, I had a beer between my legs. Always, always. I drink a beer, dump the empty can in the back seat, and grab the next one. I mean, but got in a car accident when I was 22, and I hadn't had a lot to drink that night, and they gave me a breathalyzer. I will tell you that right now, and I passed. Okay, so that obviously it proved that I hadn't had a lot to drink that night, but it really made me evaluate. Okay, I could have killed myself. I could have killed my buddy who was in the car with me. I could have killed the guy in the other car, and that really was like an eye-opening experience for me. And I quit drinking for a year and a half. Just stopped. Boom, cold turkey. Didn't drink nothing for a year and a half. And then I went to the way I drink now. I'll have a couple beers. That's it, and I'm good. I'll probably get lit up twice a year, but if I'm going to get lit up, I'm not going anywhere. Once I got my nursing degree, obviously that changes your perspective of things as well, because if I got a DWI, as a nurse, not only does it affect me because of getting a DWI, but it also affects my nursing license, and I wasn't going to have that. So um, it's all about choices. We make choices. So when people blame somebody else for what they're doing, for the decisions that they made, it drives me insane. Absolutely drives me insane, because you have to look in the mirror. You have to look at the problem. That's the one in the mirror. That's the one making the choices. So no, I do not drink Bud Light. I don't like light beer, period. I think that's garbage. No. And I don't like Budweiser, period. If there's nothing else to drink, will I drink a Budweiser? Sure, but it's not my beer of choice. Never has been, never will be. I have a joke that I can't say about Budweiser on here because of mixed company, but you know, but no, like I said, and I know like Budweiser's the big Southern drink, and all the country boys, and that's all they got to drink down here. They don't really have a whole lot of choices, so. Hello, I've been a subscriber for a few months now and love your channel. I have a question. I have a serious health issue, CBD and type 2. In a real SHTF scenario, would it be hard to get medications? What I would recommend to you, grumpy old man, is this: look for alternative medicines that you could possibly use now. Get that information. Try to stockpile some of your meds if you can now. All right. And I'm not going to tell you how to do that. That's our talked about 100 times before. I can't give. I'm not going to. Like I said, I got to be very careful as far as medical advice and stuff like that. But I would look for other things that will work, alternative medicines that will help you with your problems that you have. That's what I would look at. Okay. Hope that helps. And yeah, if you have a question for me, uh, all cap locks, it stands out for me better. So I appreciate that. But oh, Amstel, yeah, Amstel was a pretty decent beer. They don't make it anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of homeopathic things out there that have been discredited by, well, I think it would be Big Pharma. 'Cause they don't want you to use stuff that can actually, in nature help you. It's weird how that works. It's weird how that works. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. I hope that helps. But anyway, what are we at? 335 in the chat. We're at 158 thumbs up, so we're about half. Uh, so if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, please do so again to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. Again, it does make a huge difference with the algorithms as well. So the more interaction, the better. Pushes us up higher in the rankings with YouTube. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get all notifications. Of course, like, comment, and share, right? So there we go. All right. Grey Goose and Cranberry. Grey Goose is actually a pretty good vodka. I drink, if I'm going to drink vodka, I like Absolute. I drink, if I'm going to drink vodka, I drink Caucasians. That's what my buddy calls them. Calls them because you're going to have a Caucasian, which is a White Russian. If I'm going to drink liquor, if I'm drinking vodka, it's either, well, if I'm drinking vodka, it's either a White Russian, or you take vodka, orange juice, and grape juice. It's called a vodka wedge. Really, really, really good. I highly recommend that. But don't use cheap vodka. Stay away from the cheap vodka. Go ahead and get a decent vodka to do that. So that's just my advice. You guys can do whatever you want. Yeah, Grey Goose is definitely good. Absolute's the same way, Larry. Yeah, when you drink that rot gut vodka, that cheap crap, that's where you're really going to have a problem. What do you think the real stories on the Pfizer tornado? I did see that, and from what my understanding is, it was more. It was not one of those facilities that was making this, so that's a shame. But it's going to definitely affect other things, until they get back up and running, which is unfortunate. So, vodka, orange juice, and milk of mag. Oh, is a Phillips screwdriver. I no, thank you. No, thank you. Oh my God, that's craziness. But anyway, ooh, that'd be scary. You think Pfizer excuse to create med shorts? Well, okay, Elo, let's look at. There are definitely things that are getting harder and harder to get. Asa's been in the chat. He's talked about that. He's talked about certain medications are more difficult to get a hold of. You know, they could use that as an excuse to drive up prices. Look what the oil industry does, right? When you have a hurricane come through in the Gulf and the plants shut down for a week while they clean everything up, they jam up prices immediately, and then they never come back down to the level that they were before the hurricane went through. And they say, oh, well, distribution, it's going to be a while before, we get everything going and stuff like that. But you got all these other distribution places all over the country that are refining oil as well. So I just, it's just all, there's always games going on, always games going on. But it's scary as mental health drugs are short. Well, what's scary to me, to be honest with you, is the number of people that are on medication of some sort or the other. Uh, you know, I can remember, like I said, and I'm not like rah on me when I say this. I just want to put this out here. The last time I did doctors, which was obviously several years ago now, they were like, I had gotten a new doctor. It was like, got a new doctor, and they were like, okay, well, write down your list of medications, that you're taking. And I said, well, that's easy. There's none. And the lady looked at me, and I think at the time I was like, 52 or something like that. And she goes, you're not on any medications? I go, no, I don't take anything. And she was like, oh my God. She goes, That's shocking. Why is that shocking? What, that I'm not feeding the machine? That I'm not, running to the doctors every time I have a little bitty ailment or something hurts and looking for some kind of pill or get me on this, or oh, I'm depressed, so now I could be on antidepressants for the rest of my life because I went through a bad stretch and life sucked for a while. And instead of dealing with it and processing it, I'm going to mask it by taking pills the rest of my life. I don't get that. I don't get it. Um, so to me, I would rather not be on any of their medication. And I know some people need to be. So Ed, in Virginia, do you worry your dog worry you or your dog have to worry about venomous snakes? We do have poisonous snakes down in this area. We do, but as long as we're keeping the grass short and we're not like tromping around down in the creeks and all that, and into the woods a ton. We've got to go in the woods here and there, but we're pretty good. So, but there's always something that can kill you everywhere. Spiders, you name it. So the U.S. could make up the oil shortage if they wanted. To they have the oil and ability to produce it? Absolutely, Troy. Absolutely. You know, and what they're and so here's what kills me, and I get the whole green thing. I do to a degree. Okay, to a degree, but you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic. You can't change everything, right? You can't change everything. They've gone after, washing machines. They're going after fireplaces. They're going after generators. They're going after, anything that has a combustion engine, basically, right? And they want to get, go green with the cars and blah, 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 blah. But the reality is this: unless you drastically upgrade big time and harden the power grid, it's not realistic. Yeah, gas stoves. Yep, going after gas stoves. It's not realistic. It's just not. They don't have the capacity right now to do what they want to do. So you can have this pipe dream and say, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do it by this date and blah, 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 blah. But you can't force people, you know, you can't force people to make them buy a car that when the battery dies, that it's going to cost you $20,000, $30,000 to replace the battery. People don't have that kind of money. Now the ultra rich do, and great, good for them, and they can go ahead and drive all that kind of crap that they want. Like I said, I try to be as green as I can be for a couple of reasons, right? I don't want to be reliant on the system. Now, do I have to use my generator? Occasionally, yes, I do, especially in the wintertime. I need to increase my solar grid to help compensate that for the wintertime. But, you know, if most of the year I don't have to run that generator, maybe once a month. I am once a month firing it up. I do it religiously now to make sure everything is good to go. Those are the things. I'm trying to be as green as I possibly can because, and I'm not just doing it for the environment. It's a bonus that it helps the environment, but to me, it's like they don't own me. They can't tell me, well, hey, Prepper Nurse One, you haven't paid your power bill, so we're shutting you off. And then as soon as they shut you off, now they've condemned your home because you have to be, because all these little towns and municipalities got it all tied in together. You know, if you're not hooked up to the grid, and you're not on the system, then they're going to condemn your home. Look what they did to that lady in Florida because she didn't want to be on the system anymore. They went after her and they got her. The system is rigged against you. So, what was she doing? Who was she hurting? Right? She wasn't hurting anybody, but they weren't making any money off her. They don't like that. So many of these companies that, oh, go green, get solar, blah, blah, blah. But then they tell you got to be grid tied. I had a neighbor when I was in New York that lived across the valley, and he had 56 250-watt solar panels. I mean, he had a big system. And, he was grid tied. So when the grid went down, he was shut down too, right? But he got a check like once a year from them. So he didn't get it. He didn't get, he still got a monthly bill, but it was, his monthly bill was like the connection fee, the line charge, all that nonsense. So he would, and it would be like 50, $60 a month, whatever the case may be, whatever it was. But every year he would get a check once a year. They would send him a check, and I think he'd get about $7,800 from the power company buying back his power. But again, even with that, if and like I said, I'm making up a number here. If they're selling you, and this is how they would do it, right? This is how they even did it with him. Let's say they're charging you $1 a therm, and I'm like I said, I'm absolutely making this number up. Okay, so they're charging you $1 a therm. When they're buying your power, they're giving you half that. So they're giving you credit at 50 a therm, right? 50 cents a therm, selling it right back to you at $1 a therm. And because he had such a big array, there was always a surplus. So he ended up, like I said, once a year he would get that check. So his payback, I think he paid $79,000 for his system. So his payback was like in 10 years, and then he would be in the bonus, and then after that it was just, it was gravy. But and then any upkeep that you have to do on your system comes out of your pocket. So they got you either way in that situation. I would rather, like I'm doing here, like I did in New York, have an independent system so that when everybody else is without power because of a power outage, I have power, and that's why, and listen, there are sacrifices that you make. It comes down to want and need, is what it comes down to. What do I want? What do I need? And so, do I run my air conditioner here? Yep, I sure do. I have a microwave. I can use that too. Now, if I have the air conditioning on, I don't turn the microwave on while the air conditioning's running because it's too much of a power surge and it'll turn my system off. The system will automatically shut down. So I know that if I want to run the microwave, right, I turn the air conditioner off, cook whatever I'm going to cook in the microwave, and then I turn the air conditioning back on. You just have to learn what your limitations are. You learn what works and what doesn't work. But for me, it's about freedom more than anything else. Having your own well is about freedom. Back up in New York, we had obviously had our own well there, and the people that lived in town, they were getting raped what they were paying for their water bill every 3 months. And so, when you don't have that bill, it makes it really, really nice. I'll give you another example. Like, so I have in New York 330 pound propane tank in the yard, right? We on average, and Heather just had it filled up. They come once a year. They come once a year. They used to come twice a year, but we didn't use that much. So they now just come once a year. And we use less than 50 gallons of propane a year in New York because it's used basically for the hot water. That's it, just the hot water. So, we cook, if it's summertime, we cook on the grill outside. If it's wintertime, we cook on the wood stove. So, yeah, don't be late with your payments either. Exactly. So, it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious game that is set up to not benefit you. So I would rather be independent, not have them have that control and power over me because I want my freedom. They can't shut me off because I'm not hooked up to their system. That's a freedom that it's priceless. To me, it's priceless. So, but again, to each their own. But we went without a lot of things for a long time until we got our system dialed in up in New York. And then when I came down here, and I've told you guys this, if I'll tell you again, if you think you want to go solar and you decide I'm going to do a solar system, I'm going to please listen to this advice, okay? 48-volt system from day one. It's going to be more expensive, but in the long run, you're going to replace your 12-volt system. You're going to replace your 24-volt system, and you're going to have to buy those new components down the road anyway. So pay once, cry once. That would be my advice to you. Get your system set up. Start using the power, seeing where you're at. If you need to add more batteries, if you need to add more solar panels, you figure it out, right? It's simple. It really is. It's not a very complicated system. If you're using too much power, you know, then you got to figure out, okay, what can I do? I'm going to tell you what we did for years, guys, for years before I upgraded everything in New York. And I'm always going to be honest with you. We would run the solar during the day, and when we went to bed at night, right, we shut everything down. I shut the whole system down because we were sleeping. There's no reason to have the power on when you're sleeping. So I would shut it all down, and then in the morning, and we're not using the fridge at night. We're not opening and closing the door because we're asleep. And then in the morning we would turn the power back on. That's what we did for years. And I got better batteries. I got the lithium ion batteries, better storage capacity, and then we started running 24 hours a day. And man, that was awesome. That was awesome. So, like I said, it always comes down to want and need. Also comes down to what are you willing to sacrifice. We're gonna do eye count in just a second, JJ. What are you willing to sacrifice in the short term for a long term gain? And that's what it always comes down to. It's just like when people say to me, "When are you going to build here? When are you going to build here?" At some point, there's other things that need to be done first. Okay, I live in this camper, guys, for years and be perfectly comfortable. I don't need a great big huge house. I don't. What I have here, it's me and a dog. We're good, you know. So that's just I. I don't need to have the 18, 19, 2,000 square foot house. Why? I don't need that. Don't need it. Would I like a little more room? Sure. Be honest with you, I'd love a little bit more room because I like to store stuff. I like to have things. So, all right, let's go ahead. Real quick again, we're at 356 in the chat. We're at 201 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, um, please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. I haven't said the count yet, so don't start putting numbers up, guys. I'll tell you when. Please throw that thumbs up there, and thank you ahead of time. Also, it really helps with the algorithms as well, so I thank you for that reason as well. If you are not subscribed, uh, to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Collect junk, Ed? No, I don't collect junk. I everything I do, everything that I want to do, is about prepping. That's everything that I do. Everything that I get is about prepping. All right. How many eggs? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. So let's starting now. I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses up here. Ah, just give you guys another minute to get your guesses up, and we will go from there. And I will tell you. Now, to me, living off grid and prepping and trying to grow, my own food and those type of things, it's about freedom. It's about freedom. So, nope, somebody's already got it. Billy the Kid, yeah, somebody already got it. I'm just giving you guys a minute to go ahead and keep guessing if you want. All right. We have a brand new first time winner because I know that I have never said this name before. So, congratulations to Papa Pug with the guess of 6 eggs. And yes, for Miss Thickneck today. So, congratulations to Papa Pug being the winner. You've won absolutely nothing. So, congratulations for that, except for bragging rights until the next live stream. Joan T says Billy the Kid, when he takes a drink of the tea, someone's got it. You know what? It's funny because Mac told me the same thing. He goes, "You got to tell." I go, "I got to tell." He goes, "Yeah, whenever you take a drink of your green tea after you do the egg count, you already got a winner then." As well, because then I know somebody won it, and I'm gonna get a drink. So that's that. So now you guys know what the tell is. But international law requires all houses to be connected to the grid. Where did you see that? Because I know there's a lot of homes that are not Village Homestead. I hadn't saw that. I hadn't seen that. So, but Now, when you're far enough off the beaten path, and if it would, like, if I hit, so let's say for some weird reason I decided I wanted to be hooked up to the grid, I would have to pay for them to put the lines in or the poles in to bring the power back to me. That ain't gonna happen. That is not going to happen. So I'd rather take that money and put it into. Yeah, I'm not governed by international law exactly. No, what happened with the hive, uh, Bud? What happened with the hive was they they had already swarmed, but by the time he had come out, a new queen had emerged from the queen cells, and she had taken care of the rest of the queen cells, so that she, whatever other queen, she killed them that were in there. She's rebuilding the hive more. There's a lot of stuff in the hive, and the hive is doing well. He told me there's plenty of honey for them in the hive right now to get through the winter. And so when he came out, which was a couple days ago, he said if you go out in about 2 weeks, you'll have between 10 and 15,000 more bees because she's doing a good job. And I said, awesome. So a little too late getting the other box up there. I have to go up there and look inside and see if there's anything going on in that box, and kind of go from there. But yeah, we had to pay to get power a quarter mile off the road. Yeah, I'm 8/10 of a mile in from the main road, guys. Yeah, and I'm not paying them. So I know probably halfway in there is some power lines going through there. So I probably, if I was ever going to do it, it'd probably be 4/10 of a mile. But even that to me is never going to happen. So I came down here with the same mindset that I had in on the property in New York. I was going to be independent from day one, and Brian came down from New York last April, and we had Ronnie had come in, and we had built the battery room and got the power all set up like right at the same time, and so it was awesome. Yeah, it would cost big time. Absolutely, it would cost big time. So, but yeah, so like I said, it's uh, it's all come together, but slow and steady. I've been kind of part of the reason that I've been off, to be honest with you, is this freaking foot. It's driving me crazy. It's a little better, but it's taking a sweet time healing, which limits me on what I'm able to do, which drives me nuts because I want to get things done, and I just really can't right now. So that's frustrating to me. To me, it's very frustrating. But I mean, I need to go back in and go into the bathroom, rearrange things, get things squared away. Ed, did your mom teach you any prepping strategies? None. Fortune cookie, no. Um, yeah, my mother, and I love her to death. Okay, but my mom could get lost in a wet paper bag with both ends open. Okay, no sense of direction. Horrible, horrible sense of direction. Mom can't cook at all. So we were really at a very young age. We learned to be, pretty self-sufficient. Cooking the basics and taking care of ourselves. We had to. We had no choice. Um, but yeah, it's like I said, I love her to death. But no, I didn't get any of that. I hurt well with my boot that I was wearing, Peter. It happened to me once before, and I wasn't thinking about it this time, and I let it go way too long, and so the top of my foot has been sore. So it's like a bruise or something, but it never bruised up. It's not swollen up or anything like that. It's just that top of that foot hurts. So if I step wrong and I turn my ankle the wrong way, and it's not the ankle, it's the top of the foot. Yeah, probably a bruised bone is what I'm thinking, Billy the Kid, and it's just going to take time to heal. So that's it is what it is, and that's just where we're. I just got to deal with it. So I don't think I fractured it, Larry, because if I had fractured it, you would have definitely had, swelling and bruising and all that type of stuff. And no, I don't have anything that nothing with gout. Nothing, it's not gout. So, just it is what it is, and it's going to take its time. And I once fractured two of the bones in my foot. My whole foot and ankle swelled up. Yeah, and I've never had that's never happened. So it's definitely a bruise. It's the very top of my foot. So it is what it is, and we just you know we'll hopefully it'll heal up here, and it's better than it was. I mean, last month I was limping around pretty hard. I'll be honest with you. Um, but it's definitely better. Today I soaked it in Epsom salts too, so that helped a little bit. When I pulled my foot out of the water from the ankle down, my whole foot was red because I was pretty hot water. So yeah, I got a different pair of boots. I haven't even worn. I'll show you the shoes that I've been wearing. I was wearing sneakers, and I'm gonna have to tell you the story on these here in a second. So I was wearing sneakers, and I hate wearing sneakers. I hadn't worn sneakers in like 5 years. So I have these here, okay, and I don't even know what's. Yeah, they are muck boots, okay, but they're yeah, it's from the muck boot company, but they're like the ankle muck boots, right? And so my mom had bought these for me quite a while ago, and when she first bought them, I'm like, what am I going to use these freaking things for? I'm like, man, oh, these size 10. So um, I was like, what am I going to wear those stupid things for? I wear them all the time, even before I hurt my foot. I love wearing these. If it's, if I got to go run out and just do something, I slide those on, and they're awesome. And so I've actually been wearing them when I go out, get dressed for the day, and if I have to go out and do anything, I just wear the muck boots. So nope, size 10. But so that's what, and they're comfortable, and so that's what I've been wearing. So there's no pressure on the top of my foot. But yeah, they're like I said, they're awesome. So actually, mom did really really good. Mom did really good on that one. She tries. I mean, she really does try. I have to give her credit for that. But yeah, it's not. I like I said, bottom of my feet are fine. I'm not having any problem. Like I said, I know it's probably a bone bruise on the top of my foot from irritation from the boots. And when it started hurting, I didn't just switch out boots right away, which I should have done, but I didn't. So what are you going to do? Crocs rub my toenails. I don't know why people wear Crocs. I mean, I no, actually I do. I do know why people wear Crocs, but I just think they're like the ugliest thing going. But yeah, so I wear those, and they work great. And it's funny because Steve always gives me a hard time because like when and I'll even show you when I'm in the camper, I have on my slippers. So I wear my slippers around. And he goes, "You wear slippers?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, if I'm in the house and I'm just chilling out and I wear my slippers." So, yep. So, yep. If I got to go outside, I go out with my slippers. So, too funny. Yeah, Crocs are not. I know nurses wear a lot of Crocs because it helps your feet when you're on your feet all day and all that. But I just definitely not my thing. Definitely not my thing. So, but anyway, briefly, I know we're almost time to do shout outs. Wonder if I should we'll do shout outs first, and I'll go back to talking about some more of the actual topic of today. People need to be. Yeah, I saw that one winning number. One person won in California. That's crazy. I did find out some good information though. If I were to win, like tonight is the mega, and that's what 760 million tonight. In West Virginia, you can be anonymous. So you don't like California. You have to be public. So we'll eventually see the person that won it. They'll be public. In West Virginia, you can win it and you can be anonymous. And if I won it, I absolutely would be anonymous. Um, there's no way. I want everybody and their brother beating down my door with this get rich scheme and that and the other thing. I would definitely do it that way. So, all right. Let us. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead. Hey Ed, my electric went up again, and I'm looking at solar hard to take care of my friend. I'll tell you, Richard. It's going to go up every single year. You know, no, I wouldn't be Crocs on a Harley. When I ride my Harley, guys, I wear my boots, and I wear steel toe boots. When I see people wearing flip flops and crap like that on a bike, that's disaster waiting to happen. Got to protect your feet. If you want to see what happens with people that have been in bike accidents wearing flip flops, that's a pretty picture. I'll keep my feet protected by wearing boots and gloves, of course. Yep, I always wear gloves. All right, so let's do some shout outs here. We're going to start out with Icky Can up in Canada. Um, Real good guy. I would ask you to go up and support him. JJ will throw his link up there for Icky Can. You have Angry Prepper. That's Jason down in New York City. Another really, really good guy. Definitely go show him some support as well. There is Alaska Prepper, and that is Rudy. So definitely go see him as well. Real good guy, good channel. There's Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels, same guy. Very amazing watching him build and do what he's doing up in Canada. There is Demcad, another good guy, very down to earth. You have Corporal's Corner. There's Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, a really interesting series. Definitely fun to listen to, so definitely check him out as well. There is Marfugla News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast doing their thing out there. Adam's a great guy. There is Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star, that is Cody. He's been around for a long time. Real good channel. Really a lot of good information on his channel. Is Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily coming at us from Europe, showing us what's happening over there. There is Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota, living off grid. Nice young couple up there. So you have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team. Two different channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. Really, really good people. A lot of good information with them as well. There is Green Greg's, another good guy. Definitely check him out. There is Southern Prepper 1, who does the Boots on the Ground series. Good channel as well. A lot of good information with him. There is Gray Man Prepping. We have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a long time. Great channel. A lot of good information on their channel as well. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice couple, young couple down there living off-grid in Panama. So definitely check them out as well. There is the Green Dream Project out in Arizona, living in the desert. Really interesting to watch what they're doing out there. There is Camping with Steve Wallace, who does stealth camping. Now he's chasing tornadoes, apparently. So he's taken a couple days and he's chasing tornadoes. There's Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. There is the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Really good channel. Definitely check her out as well. Boss of the Swamp, another really good builder. He's doing his thing. And so he's fun to watch him do his thing as well. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond will give you all the information you need to know about the Grand Solar Minimum and everything that is going on with that, so definitely check him out. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Very down to earth, says it like it is. I like that. I find that refreshing. So like her channel as well. There is City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer, letting you know everything that's going on in space with the sun and all that type of thing. There is Bear Independent. You have the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest updates of what's going on with Yellowstone, with the earthquakes, the uprise, and everything that's happening there. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy that you should get your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall is a great guy, passionate about the weather, and he gives back to the community big time. So, really, really good guy. There is Russell Brand. Russell Brand gives you the information, lets you decide what you want to make of it, and I like that. I think that that is awesome. There's Deep South Homestead, another great channel, very family friendly, a lot of good information on their channel. The Outsider up in Maine, building up there, been fun to watch him do that over the last several years. There is the Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. You have Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's, showing you how to live like it's the 1800s. I think we should definitely check that out. We have the Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness, and I know he's on a break right now. He hasn't been on. They said Oki said that he'll be back on Tuesday. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. There is the Economic Ninja, and last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels, a lot of good information out there. I do believe we need to be supporting each other, which is an important thing. And so definitely check that out as well. All right. So, and I know you guys put other guys and channels that you like in the comments, which is perfectly fine. I can't give a shout out to everybody. So, um, anyway, going back to, I'm going to caution you guys with the volatility of people right now. Again, people are on edge. They're upset. They're stressed beyond belief. Things are getting worse. They're not getting better. I don't know if you guys just saw Biden administration is going to make it much more difficult with drilling and the permits and what they're charging them to drill and dig and stuff like that. So it's going to make it much more expensive for them to do that, economically, right? Uh, so not a good thing, which means we're going to pay at the pump is what we're going to end up doing. Also, uh, again, you take the high temperatures, short fuses, uh, possible power outages here and there around the country. Uh, you need to really be careful. Watch what you're doing. Watch what the situational awareness is really, really important. Really important. And I think that we need to stay on top of that and watch and be safe. Be as safe as you can. I'm going to say this. I've said this before. If you are in the cities, if there's any way possible, get out of the cities. Get out of the cities. Yeah, and if you have, if you can carry, if you're not a felon, I would be armed at all times. I don't like, what was it? Don't leave home without it. What was that commercial? I'm trying to remember that commercial. Don't. Oh, that was like American Express. I think. Don't leave home without it. That's how I feel about my pistol. I don't leave home without it. So, you know, that's you don't know. You don't know. And you know, when something goes down, I don't want to be standing there with my hat in my hand. I want to be able to do something about it. I want to be able to American Express. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Um, I want to make sure that I can not only protect myself but to protect the people around me, because most people are clueless, and it's a fact. Most people are clueless, and they're not going to be proactive. They don't know what to do. They don't have the training. And those type of things. Um, I don't consider myself a hero by any stretch of the imagination, but if there was a situation and there was a bad guy, I'm going to engage. I'm going to engage. End of story. Uh, you know, because yeah, the new American Express 9 millimeter. Yeah, exactly, exactly. But you just never know. You just never know. So anyway, guys, that is where we're at with that. I just use caution, use your heads, be smart, keep prepping, don't stop prepping, continue to get ready, prepare as much as you possibly can. I know I've talked about this before, and I don't think I mentioned it enough. Make sure you have seeds. Seeds are going to be big. You know, I've said this a million times, and I'm going to say this again. When SHTF happens, when, not if, when, you are going to have what you have. Remember that. That's important because no more running to the store, no more going out and getting that last minute stuff. And, you know, when you have your garden and you're harvesting your tomatoes, right? You're harvesting your tomatoes. Save the seeds. It isn't hard. It's easy, right? Sacrifice one, save the seeds out of it. Not a big deal. You know, make sure you have a nice stock pile of seeds. You know, your cherry tomatoes, another one, great to have. You know, so but it's tools. Tools are important as well. Yes, gardening tools, rakes, hoes, all those type of things, really, really important to have. There's a lot that goes into it, and it can be overwhelming. It absolutely can be overwhelming at times, and I understand that and I get it. But if you just work methodically and you know, start getting as ready as you possibly can, you're going to be in much, much better shape. And when the time comes and something happens, you're going to be really, really glad that you have been proactive and that you've been getting ready. So, something to think about. You know, that's kind of where we're at. And so, you have to be as ready as you can be, because when that other when that other shoe drops, it's not going to be a pretty day. It is not going to be a pretty day. All right, let's do this. We are legion because we are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? We have Rhonda in Dayton, Ohio. We have Franklin County, Ohio. Inverness, Florida, with Clyde in the house. Nowhere, Oklahoma, with Okie Forge. East Central Illinois with Lana. Decatur, Alabama, with Gunny. Leesburg, Florida, with Joan. Southeast with Captain. We have Texas is in the house. The beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds with Pennsylvania Granny. Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. New Hampshire with Brenda. Union City, Pennsylvania with Richard. Canton, Ohio with Chad. Morning Light out of West Virginia. Eastern Pennsylvania with Brick. Kearney, Nebraska with DJ. New Hampshire's in the house with Brenda. Vancouver Island. Las Vegas is in the house with Maria. Greeley County, Arizona with Codster. Dunlap, Tennessee with Jeff. Centerville, Indiana with Pam. Kentucky's in the house with William. BC, Canada with Janet. Mike in Colorado. Missouri and the Ozarks with Delbert. Dutch Devil coming out of Texas. We have Cape Cod, Mass. Downers Grove, Illinois with Carolyn. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy. West Central Ohio with Dale. So again, guys, we're all over the place. We got Minnesota's in the house with Michael. Southwest Missouri with Nancy. Western New York with Karen. East Warren County, Pennsylvania with Mountain Man. All over the country, all over the world, huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that truly can make a difference now by trying to wake people up and help people that way. We have Central New York with Village Homestead. And down the road, when things go sideways, we will be the teachers because we will have the experience. We'll be able to show people how to help themselves. And I think that is important that we do that at that point as well. So, really good things. What are we at? 263 in the thumbs up. I don't know. What are we? 275? Just 12 more gives us 275. We got like 6 minutes to go. So let's see if we can hit 275, guys. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do that. It really does make a big, big difference again with the algorithms. Hey, Raphael, made it in time to give thumbs up. Northeast Michigan in the woods. Cool, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the donation as well. So we're at 268. So we need 7 more thumbs up to hit 275. So anyway, like I said, I don't make predictions. I don't say, oh, well, this is going to happen here or that's going to happen there. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. All we can do is try to be as ready as we possibly can for it. We have no control over that. There's other people pulling those strings, and they're not us. So, uh, the more prepared we are, the better position we're going to be to ride out the storm. And I think that that's really, really important. Don't be surprised to be caught off guard. Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at all, Captain Price. I don't think any of us are going to ever be completely ready for it. So I'm sure everybody's not going to be ready for it. No matter what, no matter how prepared you are, I don't think you're ever ready for that. Some of us are definitely in better shape than other people, and I hope that you guys have, been listening and preparing and doing that as well. So I think that that's important. That's what's going to help us in the long run. The less victims out there, the better. That's the way I always look at it, and that's why I will continue to always encourage you guys to prep. We're at 272. We need 3 more thumbs up, guys, to hit 375. Now 2 more to go. So, yeah, bartering goods are really, really important as well. Yes, you definitely need to, you know, have things that you're willing to trade. So having multiples of things is important. 275. There we go. Very nice. 277 now. Very cool. So we hit it. I didn't even set an early number, so that's awesome. You guys got it. You cranked it out. So I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job. Again, guys, I'm going to ask you to please keep JJ in your thoughts and prayers. He will be undergoing brain surgery for an aneurysm on Tuesday. So, JJ, did they let you go back home before that, or did they keep you in the hospital? But anyway, he will be having that. So I want you to make sure you keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and I do appreciate that. Also, I want to thank all you guys for being here, being part of this, supporting the channel. I do enjoy these chats. It's a lot of fun. Still in the hospital? Okay. Yeah, so I didn't, when you said, yeah, they might let me go home and I'm thinking, yeah, they're probably not going to let you go home. They want to keep you under observation. That's a serious thing. Yeah, that is definitely a serious thing. So, but anyway, guys, remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure it out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. Uh, we have to stop letting them divide us using race, religion, political affiliation. It's all nonsense. It all means nothing, realistically. If we can just come together as human beings, there would be no stopping us, what we could accomplish, what we could do for the betterment of man, not just for our own self interest, but for the betterment of man. It would be amazing. It really, truly would be. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. So it's really important that you tell the people that you care about every single day how you feel. Last but not least, the best acronym in the world, STD. You're not forgetting that acronym, right? Step, thing, and day. That's what it stands for. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, it doesn't have to be about prepping, doesn't have to be about living off grid. It's whatever dreams, aspirations, hopes, goals that you have. If you set realistic goals and then you set about to making them happen, the only person that's going to stop you from getting there is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay away from negativity. Stay away from negative people that want to tell you, what you can accomplish. If you set realistic goals, you make them happen, and then you shut them up. And they got no comebacks when you get it done. They have no comebacks when you get it done. So that's important as well. So remember that, okay? Uh, so hang in there, guys. Keep prepping. Keep getting ready. Take care of your business, and you're going to be just fine. Life is short, you know. Make sure you're taking time to smell the roses too. That's important. So, if she's a pretty nurse, ask for bed baths. If she looks like Ed, forget it. Oh, morning light. That's funny. That is funny. All right, guys. Have a great night. I will see you on the next one. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.